Alex Volkanovski just did it, man. He reminded everybody exactly who he is. The guy went out there and won back the featherweight belt. And honestly, he looked sharp as hell. In my last video, I said that Diego Lopes was a dangerous fighter, and I still stand by that. Lopes is explosive, unpredictable, and he's part of this new generation of featherweights that are coming in. But Volkanovski, he showed that there's still levels to this game, you know what I'm saying? From the jump, Volk looked like the Volk that we all know. You know, he was sharp, calculated, just doing what he does the best. You know what I'm saying? He was coming in with that pit pat style, and he was landing some big meaty hooks here and there. And just in general, he was tagging Lopes with those clean shots. Nothing too wild, but always on point. His footwork was setting up everything, helping him glide in and out, landing that jab, and throwing slick combinations without getting caught. Now, to be fair, and I gotta say this, Diego Lopes definitely did have his moments. He scared me a couple times, man. He was throwing those wild loopy hooks, nasty uppercuts, and he even clipped Volk and dropped him at one point. So it wasn't just a walk in the park. Lopes brought that danger. But the way Volk stayed composed, adjusted, and just kept the fight under control, that's championship level experience right there. And what stood out to me the most is how calm he was in the pocket. Lopes was throwing heat, trying to create those wild exchanges he thrives in. But Volk kept his chin tucked, stayed balanced, and countered with precision. That's not just physical skills, that's experience, IQ, and confidence in his game. So yeah, Lopes is still a future problem. I'm not taking anything away from him. But this was Volk reminding us, don't talk about the next era like I'm still not here. He might not be getting any younger, but he's still the benchmark in this division. But now that the dust has settled, I'm already thinking ahead, what's next for Volk? Because here's the thing, the featherweight division doesn't look the same as it did even a year ago. The rankings are shifting, the names are changing, and this new wave of featherweights, they're coming in fast. And hey, you gotta give credit where credit's due. Volkanovski just became the oldest fighter to win back a UFC title at the age of 36 in the featherweight division. That's some legacy stuff right there, man. That's already written in the books. He took some losses, to Islam, to Topuria, but now he's back in the win column, back on top. And you gotta respect that. But staying there, that's the hardest part. Because when I look at the new generation, we got guys like Arnold Allen, Movsar Evloev, Lerone Murphy, and even Gene Silva. I see real threats for some of them. These aren't just hype trains, these are dynamic, well-rounded, explosive fighters with cardio, power, and confidence. They're not here to test themselves against the champ, they're here to take the spot. No hesitation, no fear. And hey man, Volk's beating Diego Lopes is a good sign, no doubt about it. It shows that he still got it. He's still sharp, still dangerous. But here's the thing, history has shown us that beating one guy from the new wave doesn't mean that you're safe from the rest. The next generation, they are different breeds, man. With that being said, Volk is back on top. The real question becomes, can he hold it down against the crop of killers? And we're going to start with the big one first, Movsar Evloev. And if I'm going to be real, I think Volkanovski wins this fight. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Movsar is a legit threat and undefeated for a reason. But over 5 rounds, I got to side with the champ. Volk just brings too much to the table. Experience gap alone is massive. Then there's the physical side of it. People forget how hard it is to take Volk down, let alone hold him down. Even Islam had trouble keeping him grounded. His base is ridiculously strong, former rugby player, low center of gravity, always balanced, always composed. Movsar's game is built around control and positioning, but Volk doesn't give up control easily. You might get him down, but he scrambles back up before you guys can settle into a position. That actually wears guys out. And on the feet, it's not even close. Volk striking is sharper, more layered, and way more dangerous. Movsar's hands are decent, he's got a solid jab and some clean fundamentals, but he's not outstriking Volk for over 25 minutes. Volk varies his attacks, leg kicks, jabs, fakes, angles, combinations, and he does it with purpose. He sets traps, he reads tendencies, and he punishes hesitation. That level of striking IQ is going to give Movsar a ton of problems. But again, this isn't a blowout. Movsar does have tools that could make it tough. His ability to chain wrestle, control the pace, and frustrate opponents with pressure could win him a couple of early rounds maybe, if he stays disciplined and doesn't get drawn into these wild exchanges. He could make it ugly, and honestly the best path of him to win this fight is slowing it down. Make it grappling heavy, limit Volk's output, but he can't try to win a positional one. The issue is, over 5 rounds, that's a tough ask. We've seen Movsar slow down even in like 3-round fights. What happens when Volk is still pushing the pace in round 4 and Movsar is breathing heavy? That's where I think the fight breaks open. Volkanovski's championship experience, his cardio, and durability will become too much. He doesn't fade, he builds, and unless Movsar can do damage early or bank rounds with dominant control, I think the pressure starts to flip and Volk starts to take over. With that being said, let's move on to the next name who can pose some serious problem for Volkanovski. That man is Aljamain Sterling. Now, Aljo's already had 2 fights at featherweight, so we're not talking about potential anymore. He's in the division now, but when you start looking at him as a threat to someone like Volk, the conversation gets more layered. Aljo's game has always been built around control. That's his bread and butter. It is his grappling. And let's be real, the dude is a human backpack. If he gets your back and locks in that body triangle, it's a wrap for the round. He doesn't rush for submissions either. He's patient, methodical, and knows how to steal minutes off the clock. But he's amazing at creating chaos and capitalizing on scrambles or mistimed strikes, especially kicks. That said, featherweight is a different beast. At bantamweight, Aljo had a physical edge over a lot of guys. He was often longer, stronger, and more athletic. But at 145, those advantages start to even out, especially when you're going against a guy like Volk. Volk's not just compact, he's durable. He's built to fight grapplers. He's got some of the best hips in MMA, rarely gets controlled. And even when you get his back, like we saw in the Islam fight, he doesn't panic, he stays composed and works his way out. And let's not forget the striking match. This is where Aljo still has some glaring issues. His striking has improved, no doubt about it, but it's still a little stiff, a little awkward. He relies a lot on kicks, but his boxing entries can be predictable, and he doesn't put combinations together fluently. Against a guy like Volk, who thrives off reads and mid-fight adjustments, that's a dangerous game. Volk's gonna download you fast. If you're giving him the same look over and over, he's not just gonna counter you, he's gonna start setting traps and start taking over the fight. Now sure, if Aljo gets to the back, that's where things get real. It's that one position where he's truly elite. Body triangle, control time, and he makes you wear him like a weight blanket. And to be fair, Volkanovski has been there before. Islam Makhachev got to his back, had the body triangle deep, and he still really couldn't do anything with it. Volk stayed calm, defended well, and never gave Islam a clear chance to end it. But Aljo's style of back control is different. He's not hunting for a quick submission, he's trying to suffocate you over time. He's a master at turning 3 minutes of control into a stolen round. If he gets to that spot, he can make things ugly, swing momentum in his favor, and the problem is getting there. Volk's base is insane, his takedown defense is airtight, and when he gets taken down or caught in a scramble, he's so good at fighting the hands, staying composed, and eventually reversing or escaping. He doesn't give his back often, and when he does, you better capitalize fast because he's not staying there for long. So yeah, Aljo has one real shot, taking the back, locking it in, and turning it into a grinding fight. But everything outside of that, that's Volk's world. On the feet, he's sharper, faster, more experienced, and way better at adjusting on the fly. I think it might be close early on, especially if Aljo creates some chaos, but as the fight goes on, Volk is going to figure him out, keep it standing, and start pulling away. Either a clear decision or a late finish if Aljo starts to fade. With that being said, another fighter that would be interesting is Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen is one of those guys that's kind of flown under the radar for a while. Super well-rounded, super disciplined, and honestly, he was riding a long win streak before he ran into Max Holloway. And even in that fight, he held his own. He didn't win, but he didn't get outclassed either. That tells you a lot because not many people can say they went 5 rounds with Max and kept it competitive. Stylistically, Allen's a tough matchup for a lot of these featherweights, but against Volk, I still lean Volk, and I'll tell you why. First off, Arnold's a rhythm fighter. He's clean, he's technical, and he's got some serious pop in his hands. He doesn't throw wild, he is very precise, and he's probably one of the better southpaws in the division. He's fast, he's smart, and he has shown that he can go long rounds without fading. So this wouldn't be a walk in the park for Volk. It would be a technical chess match, especially early. But here's the problem. Allen doesn't have that one standout weapon. He's good at everything, but he's not great in one specific area. And against someone like Volk, you kind of need a hammer. You need something that can shake the fight up, something that makes him adjust. Because Volk thrives against guys who are solid everywhere because he can download them, break their rhythm, and start creating layers they're not ready for. Volk's footwork, his ability to mix levels and leg kicks, the feints, all of that starts to add up. Arnold likes the pressure, but Volk doesn't let you just walk him down. He pivots, circle, cracks you with a jab, a low kick, and makes you reset. And when you do overcommit, he'll shoot, he'll clinch, he'll flip the script and make you defend. And defensively, Volk is just on another level. Arnold's biggest weapon is probably that left hand, but Volk's seen that look before. He fought southpaws like Mendes and Ortega and handled them fine. If there's one area Allen could have slight advantage, it's in the pocket exchanges. He's sharp and close, he rolls with the shots well, and he's great at slipping and countering. If Volk gets too greedy and tries to brawl, Allen could absolutely tag him. He's explosive when he pulls the trigger, probably faster than people give him credit for. But again, over 5 rounds, I think the edge is pretty clear. Volk's cardio, IQ, and adaptability are just too much for Arnold. Arnold's going to have his moments, no doubt about it. This wouldn't be a blowout, but I see Volk slowly taking over by round 3. More volume, better reads, more tools. I think it turns into a close fight early, then a clear Volk win down the stretch. Now another fighter I'm going to bring up is Lerone Murphy. Volk smokes Lerone Murphy straight up. No disrespect to Lerone, clean on the feet, undefeated, and he's starting to build a name, but he's been fighting mid-level fighters. There's levels to this, and Volk is on top of the mountain. The footwork, the timing, the pressure, Lerone has never dealt with that kind of chaos before. Volk wins because he's not just skilled, he's efficient. He breaks people down systematically. Lerone likes to fight at his own pace, but Volk doesn't let you do that. He'll chop the legs, jam the rhythm, pressure him into a bad decision, and once Lerone starts hesitating, it's over. He gets walked down, frustrated, and probably finished late. Good prospect, wrong opponent. Now let me tell you something, it becomes more and more clear after last night's pay-per-view, there's really only one guy in the division who might give Volk some serious problem, and that's Silva. Everybody else, Volk handles them. Some fights are competitive, some are tricky, but when you stack up the skills, experience, and fight IQ, Volk still runs the division. But Gene is different. Last night against Bryce Mitchell, he showed exactly why people are starting to look at him as the dark horse at 145. And Bryce is one of the most relentless grapplers in the division. The guy lives for takedowns, chain wrestling, top control, and Gene completely shut that down. He was having fun. The way he was stuffing those shots kept the fight standing and made Bryce look frustrated. That wasn't just luck. That was elite takedown defense, positioning, balance, and most importantly, composure. He didn't panic, he didn't rush anything, he just handled it. And once the fight stayed on the feet, man, Gene lit him up. His striking is just in a different level. He's fast, explosive, clean, and unpredictable. He switches stances, throws with power from both sides, and he hurts guys when he lands. What makes him dangerous for someone like Volk is that he's not just technical, he's violent. He can throw with bad intentions, and he can end the fight off with a single exchange. And here's the kicker. Gene doesn't need to hit you 10 times to make a statement. He's efficient. He's got that sharp reaction, base style where he baits you, reads your patterns, and then explodes with a counter. That's the kind of thing that makes someone like Volk hesitant. And if you step late or misread, Gene makes you pay for it. He's raw in some areas, sure, still young, still learning how to pace himself over 5 rounds, but when you talk about pure danger, someone with that athleticism, the takedown defense, and the knockout power to actually finish Volkanovski, that list is short. And let me tell you something, Silva is on it.